Right, so you joined me at Tide's swimming pool, leisure indoor tennis centre.
Woo!
Which is where we are. Now, the reason why we are here is because when we were kids, we used to go to different places. We used to hang around at McDonald's. We used to hang around in this car park with loads of other people from Deal to play and meet up as a group of people, get some McDonald's trays, go spinneroonies and all that sort of stuff. So we've decided to do a new series of cars that we used to have when we were kids. Now, the car that we're going to review, I met El Dickhead.
Yeah, that would be me.
That would be him. I met him in said car. Now, it's not my old car, but I've come to see it and reminisce and relive the memories that we had back then. And we're going to do that with a load of cars that we can find. Cars that we owned, cars that we wish we owned. And that's it. And we're probably going to do them either at places we used to hang out or McDonald's.
There we go.
There we go.
Nostalgia.
Nostalgia. So we're going on a nostalgia journey with you with cars that we wish we had and cars that we did have. So first car up, check this one out.
Yes!
There you have it. It is a Peugeot 309 GTI. Now, I met Owen many, many moons ago, 20 plus years ago.
Yeah, easily,
whatever it was, in a 309 GLXI.
Ooh.
But 2 cars later, I bought a GTI for 800 quid. Now, this car is definitely not 800 quid anymore. It's not a perfect example. It's still got a bit of patina here, there and everywhere, but it's probably still worth 8 grand.
Survivor, that's what you call it.
Survivor, about £8,000 standard. They're 148 horsepower.
Yes.
Now, this one's 172. Oof. Not going to blow your socks off, but it's the memories that we had. And I'm going to show you and share a few of them memories. So, with my one, when you used to reverse really, really quick and lift up the handbrake, I could get the 2 wheels off the ground.
I remember that.
Remember that? So I can get the 2 wheels off the ground, it would bunny hop to hell.
Torsion bar suspension is the reason.
Torsion bar suspension is the reason why I never lowered it, because whenever you saw a Peugeot 309 in them days, it used to be lowered at the front and sky high at the back.
Yeah.
But with the 309, different to the 205, they had a flatter arch compared to the front. So it always looked lower anyway at the back.
Okay, didn't know that.
But yes, so you used to bunny hop the things. Inside, this is a 2-door, I had a 4-door. Then when I bought the GTI, it was a 2-door. You can only really buy a GTI in a 2-door unless it's a Goodwood. So they've done a Goodwood edition, which was even more special than one of these. Obviously the 205 of that time was the car to go for.
Yeah.
You had the 1.6 and you had that was your Ford Focus of that day, where this was more your Mondeo, I guess.
Yeah, true, yeah.
So, or the 405.
Yeah.
But the interior, square dials, little digit clock, great interior. I loved being in this thing all the time, and my one stunk. This one doesn't stink. And at that point, I didn't smoke.
It is lush inside, though, isn't it? It's super tidy.
Really, really nice inside. And then on the top, these sunroofs always shocked me why they had this extra bar, but obviously because everything, all the other sunroofs used to be in the car. Do you remember?
Yeah.
So they used to go in the roof. This is on the top.
It's
more
kind
reliable.
Yeah, it slides back, eh?
Yeah, you can fix everything from there. Big sunroof, hung out of that many times. You remember that time when I first passed? Was it you or Steve? I first got my GLXI and I went pelting down a road and Steve lifted the handbrake.
That was me.
That was you.
Yeah.
So he lifted the handbrake and I went straight into a curb. That was the day I passed my test in one of these cars. Not the GTI, but the GLSI. So when you got to, because this is a facelift version, so they have different grille, different front bumper, different spoiler. The spoiler used to be rubber and they used to perish really easy.
Yeah. And
different rear lights. So it used to have straight lights on it. But other than that, this is how my GLXI was, but my GTI was a Mark 1 or Phase 1, and that was it.
Yeah.
These never worked. The good thing is, this is a parcel shelf without 6x9s cut.
Yeah, I saw that earlier. No one's
that.
cut holes in it. Look how tidy this thing is.
Look. Oh.
Bang in the 80s.
Yeah,
well, no, this is a 92, isn't it? as far as I'm aware.
It is one of whatever it is.
I think.
But always used to get the Piper exhaust as well.
Yeah,
back in the
standard,
day.
yeah.
So they got a Piper exhaust, tons of boot space. I think we put Colin in there once.
Probably.
There was also a time where we had 4 wheels off a Ford Orion in it. We got pulled over.
I remember this.
Pulled over. I got 3 points on my licence, but I had 4 ball tyres and the copper cut his hand on it.
Yes, I do remember that.
Yeah, so, and anyway, the reason why I got pulled over is because the car looked too low.
Yes.
Which it did, because it had 4 alloy wheels in the back, a jack and other stuff. And
probably
springs.
a person, who knows?
No, we were free up.
Oh, okay.
Spencer in it and everything. So, yeah, I've been pulled over many a time in a 309 GTI.
It's just so tidy.
Yeah, look at the engine bay.
Yes,
now, let's get
here
to
we
the
go.
engine bay.
The money shot.
The money
Look
shot.
at that. I mean, cars these days.
Now, the thing is...
Love it.
The thing is with them is...
3,
That's
2,
a lot
1.
of engines.
Bosh.
1.9, isn't it? So, with these, you to get 200 horsepower out of it was next to impossible.
You're trying really hard, yeah.
Now, what can you get out of them? I don't know. Even if you put a turbo on it, you're talking no more than 350.
Oh, yeah.
There's not much you can do with them. But nowadays cars, you can get your 1,000 horsepower. With these, you can't get
I
that.
suppose we're going back to a day when the Cozzies were like the target pinnacle car. They were only 200 horsepower. So these are like 150 or something. That was a lively car, wasn't it?
It was a lively car back then. But yeah, there's not much to look at. It's just a big engine that made a load of noise. And for me, I preferred this to a 205.
Yeah, a bit more space for us. We're big lads, so they're a bit bigger inside.
Yeah.
Nice induction kit on there. It's been played with a bit. It's on a
Emerald ECU, isn't it?
Emerald ECU. It's had a bit of tuning, and I think there's a 4-branch manifold just down the back
Yeah,
there.
I can see a homemade.
Yeah, so
down
you got that. So he's opened up another 20 or so horsepower, but 170 horsepower, they're a light car, aren't they? Let's face it.
Well, they're probably, 1,100 kilos?
Yeah, at most, I
and
would
then
say.
I guess the 205 was a lot lighter car.
Yeah.
And hence why it was a better car.
Everyone
but
preferred
for
it.
me, this shape was by far better than the
That's
other.
a lot of inlet manifold.
It's a lot, isn't it?
I mean, the long runners, there was obviously a reason they did this. I would expect the long runners, because they didn't have to do that. That could all be up here. It's probable they did it for torque, I expect, but maybe we'll do some homework on that. But yeah, it's tidy.
You know what I'm really excited about? Because they said, oh yeah, just drive it down the road. Me and Owen are going to go for a drive in it. But we were going to go, he said, drive it down the road. Refused, so I drove Owen's Beamer.
Yeah.
Because I want my actual reaction of getting in one of
First
these
time.
cars after 20 years.
Yes.
And actually getting to drive one.
So you haven't driven one in 20 years?
20 years.
Oh, mate, this is a...
20 years. This is why,
moment.
for me, this is a pinnacle moment for me.
Well, best we get
We'll go for a drive.
get in the seat and go for a drive.
Yes.
Alrighty.
Okie dokie, tiddly pokey. They've all got a different camera angle today. Torsion bar, isn't it?
It's French, isn't it?
French. Right.
This interior is... Look at these seats, man.
Right. What were these for? I can't remember.
I don't know. I didn't want to touch
Are
them in
they-
case, like... No way.
What's the back windows?
You can open the back
You know
windows
what?
from there.
I'm going to leave the back windows open.
I didn't even know that was a thing. I always found the Peugeot seats were a bit soft. They're nice shape, but they're a bit like... They're comfy,
They are
but for a
soft.
sporty car.
But also, just to let you know, obviously it's not got a GTI engine, it's got the Mi16 engine in it.
Boom!
So, it is going to be a little bit different to what a normal one is.
This
but
is so clean.
I know, right?
My newish car, I say ish, it's not that new, isn't this clean.
It drives like I remember.
Turn the aircon on, Stu.
Yeah, you've got little or next to no hope with that one.
Fan, hot or cold, that's it. But it's the characteristics of it, isn't it? It's all the little like things you remember, like the steering wheel's really small, there's no power steering.
No.
It's tiny in here.
Yeah. I always liked the GTI steering wheels. You used to get the normal steering wheels with a Peugeot badge and then GTI steering wheel with GTI written in it. That was cool. And I remember all the... God, this is 20 years. 20
Nostalgia.
years since I've been in one of these things.
Oh, where's the little AFR goes
Absolutely love it. What are the AFRs on this compared to the Micra?
Normal.
Normal. That's good news then.
I don't want to touch the sunroof, because you know what Nick says about sunroofs on old cars?
Yeah.
If you've got an old car, really old car, don't touch the sunroof unless you know it works.
Yeah.
Because once you open it, if it don't close properly, you're in trouble. But this, I do remember this, and I don't think I've ever been, well, I've never been in one this clean, because let's face it, I'm not, no disrespect, but yours wasn't as clean as this. But then we were teenagers.
It used to be, that was in the family for a little while. So my nan had that car.
Are you joking?
But brand new. And then after she had it, it went to my mum.
Right.
And then it went from my mum to being my first car.
Right. I didn't know that.
Yeah, so it's been in the family for quite a long time.
I remember you swapped the wheels on it. We put another set of wheels on it, didn't we? Convertible ones, were they? Convertible Peugeot or something?
No, the first wheels I put on were the 1.6 205 GTI wheels.
Yeah.
Then I went to the 306 GTI 6.
They're the ones I remember.
5-spoke wheels.
You had it painted?
I did. I had it resprayed, and then beat the hell out of it.
Colour code. I remember you colour coded bits of the bumpers.
Yeah, but you remember
like
the bumpers back then when you used to colour code and they used to
fall
flake off.
Yeah.
So it all started flaking off. Looked a bit sorry for itself. I wanted GTI bumpers on it, but again, didn't want to spend the money.
You know what I love about the GTI bumpers on these? Fog lights.
Yes.
Fog lights were a thing. If you could tell a car was sporty if it had fog lights. A lot of cars now have fog lights. A lot of cars don't need fog lights because the headlamps
are
not
an
good enough.
extra back
then.
Wasn't
it? But it had fog lights. Not only did it have fog lights, they were yellow because French. Not only did it have yellow fog lights, there was 4 of them in the front bumper.
Yeah.
That was real significant, I remember.
The thing was, when I had my GLX-I, the difference was with that is it came with a fog light, one set of fog lights, not 2. But they used to keep breaking because they're made of glass.
That's right, yeah.
So they weren't plastic, like the lights on this are glass.
Yeah.
But whenever I used to break one, it's a long time ago, it's changed. I used to go and rob them.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, I did.
No.
Yeah. As soon as I saw one, thought I need one of them.
Because there was more than one on the road, obviously.
Yeah, there's tons back then.
And you're a vagrant, so you just like.
Yeah, I was an arsehole when I was a kid.
Oh.
Arsehole. Wait for this. We've got a little
Let's
bit.
Let's hear it sing. Let's hear the 16 valves. Oh, that sounds good.
It is by no means the quickest thing in the world.
It's not slow.
Now. No, it's not slow. But back then, this was quick.
Yeah. This is 170 horse and a tuned RS turbo. Kind of thing that would have been around at the time. If you had a bleed valve intake and exhaust on your RS turbo, that would have been about the same 150, 160 horse.
Uno turbos.
Yeah, they would have been about 140 with a bit of a tune in them.
That's the exhaust note.
Yeah.
That I like.
And the intake noise is good, I've got to say.
Go on, it smells.
Do you know what? It's not slow.
No, it's not slow at all.
I think
it's not slow at all, but you've got to bear in mind the
can't
cars.
Compare it, can we?
No, because the cars that we are about, like even my 330 Beamer, the diesel, that is instant. And
it's fast.
It's fast. Then you've got your M240, you've got the MR2, the Nova. It's nothing like that.
Technology's changed so much though. Listen.
Yes. Oh.
That is not slow. I love that.
Slow. But the thing is, and it's going to be reliable. Ain't going to crap themselves.
I mean, there's not a lot to go wrong.
The thing is, with the Peugeots back then, the GTI engines or the 405 Mi16, which is this, and so on and so forth, they never went wrong mechanically.
No.
They just faded, rusted.
Yeah.
Everything else, I think they came standard with an element of rust.
Yeah.
No panel was straight from new.
No.
There's always some sort of crease in it.
Or door gaps, door and wing gaps, panel gaps, that sort of stuff.
But when you went to buy a car back then, second hand or new, you never used to go in and whinge about panel gaps.
No.
Because they were thrown together, they're cheap. So many memories of this.
Yeah.
Like, do you remember Ultimate Street Car?
Yeah.
And everyone was going, oh look, it's a Peugeot 309 GTI. It weren't.
It wasn't. No.
It had the GTI wheels on it, but you could do burnouts in the fields.
Ultimate Street Car 20 years ago is not what Ultimate Street Car is now.
No.
rightfully so, because it was downright dangerous.
It was bloody dangerous. Yeah.
Everyone would just drink and then do burnouts in their cars.
It was burnouts, and everyone came across trying to stop you. Then you go another row, and then it burn out.
We actually had a piece of rope. I think it was a tow rope, and someone's bonnet off their car, and we were driving around the field in the car park with people taking turns to sit on the bonnet like a sledge. Or like you were wakeboarding, but around a car park, and we did that for hours before the security came over and stopped us doing it.
I remember doing a burnout at Ultimate Streetcar in my first Peugeot, the 309, and it dropped all of its oil.
Did it?
And I had to get my dad to come up and recover me from Santa Pod. But the good news was, I say good news.
Right.
What happened is when I was doing the burnout, it rattled the oil filter off.
Oh, right.
So it rattled the oil filter off because they were Tapity engines back then.
Yeah.
And it loosened off, fallen off, dropped its oil, and that was the issue.
Oh, so he just screwed it back on and
so he screwed it back on, put oil in it, and then I drove all the way back home on the street car. I think Steve was in the car with us, which Steve is one of Owen's mechanics now.
Yeah.
Right. So second gear. Little bit of room, like a little bit of room.
Yeah. We're
at
crazy.
2.5, and then go.
That's lively.
When it gets up,
that goes all right, you know.
In the rev range, when you're getting further up, it's just going.
It's obviously a revvy, like the old Clio 172s.
Yeah.
You have to really wind them up to get anything out of it. Yeah, but these are they're close to your heart, aren't they? You used to love these. Mate. And then you went to go and work at Peugeot.
Well, yeah, I worked later on. But I would love to just buy a normal one, whether it's a Merit, a GLXI, just a bog standard one, make it really nice, lower it, nice set of wheels, make it really retro, but then eventually engine swap it for something a little bit different.
So there you have it. If you know someone who's got a Peugeot 309 anywhere in a garage, or you've seen one down the side of someone's house, give them a knock for us, because we want to buy it. We'll make a video out of it.
It's got to be cheap.
It's got to be cheap.
Like cheap.
I mean, let's talk about what this is worth. What is this worth as it is now?
So for me, when I bought my one, which was a Series 1 back then, which would have been an older car, so it would have been cheaper than this shape.
Yeah.
I paid just under 800 quid for that.
It's not much money, is it?
No, it's not much money at all. Weren't in bad condition, but it was just, it needed this, it needed that, and I really didn't want it. I sold it and made 500 quid.
Nice.
So that wasn't too bad. So 800 quid from now. Now, for this condition, starting 8 grand.
Oh, they start at 8, do they? And this is a good one, isn't it?
Yeah, if you get a Goodwood, Goodwoods you don't see really any less than 10 grand.
Wow. And they're all 4-door, did you say?
No, they're 2-door and 4-door,
okay.
but I like the 4-door version. They only came in this green.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's
and,
like an oak
they
green
came with like a grey wheel.
Right.
And the interior was leather, and it had Goodwood like gear knob and different things like that. So, but yeah, I would love one of them. Here we go. Let's see what it's like on a dual carriageway now. The noise of it, innit?
It does sound great, I've got to say.
Oh, there's a better gear change.
Yeah, it goes right. Oh man,
that is a cool car.
Yeah, that is
a lot of noise.
Cool.
When you can hear it coming through all the panels and everything else.
Well, we got the windows cracked a bit because it is probably 28 degrees, 27 degrees outside.
Yeah.
Gearing's good as well. They geared it properly, didn't they? You're snatching there.
I'm snatching. I want to be like you.
Oh, mate. 70 miles an hour, there we go.
70 miles an hour.
Perfect. No, that's quality. And that's proof as well that you don't have to have 1,000,000 horsepower to have fun. Like this, accelerating up to 70 miles an hour feels like great fun.
Yeah.
You know, I did 50 or 60 on the way over here, where we parked the car. And it's more fun getting to that speed in something that's like this, rather than...
But you know what I like about 5th gear?
There's still a bit
of get the bark, didn't you? You get the bark.
Even the carpets are good.
You know what? You remember, you know when they say don't meet your heroes or don't go back and see the cars that you used to love or what have you?
Yeah.
I still love this as much as I would do back then.
Really?
Even just sitting in one. Just sitting in one.
Fair play.
Like the pedals used to piss me off when I was a kid. Because you got two like off-centered squares.
He said that when I got into it.
And they're like, why aren't they following the same way?
Because French.
Because French.
They just decided what they got their.
It's like all they had to do was get the other one and turn it round.
Yeah. Do you know what I want to get in and drive? Renault 5 Turbo.
Just a normal.
Yeah, I want to drive one of them.
Renault 5 Turbo.
I had about 3 of those.
Well, there you go. If you know of any cars that are like box standard, preferably local, because travelling so far for one standard car.
Anything from
difficult.
85 to 95, I would say.
Yeah.
That period of time, if you know of anything that's sporty and used to be obtainable back then, whether or not it's like high in value now, we want to visit it and
relive it.
Yeah,
relive
exactly
it.
that.
And maybe this video has relived some of the things for you guys. Don't know. Or mention comments and memories that you used to have in certain cars. Like we've mentioned our memories in the cars.
We've got plenty of memories in Renault 5s.
A load of memories.
Haven't we just? We'll save that till we get the Renault 5 video, but I'm desperate to. If you know someone who's got a really nice Renault 5
there
Turbo,
is a potential. We may have a Renault 5 tomorrow. I'll message the guy today. But,
okay, see what happens.
But that may be one.
Sorry, I got distracted, Stu.
Okay. So yeah, that's a wrap. Thank you to Jeff at GC Automotive Service and Repairs in Deal.
There we go.
So if you need anything, he does play with other stuff than just normal cars. You've got that
Series 1 RS Turbo, that is probably the cleanest one I've ever seen, to be fair.
And then obviously Renault 19.
In that wheel arch, look. It is like mint. And yeah, sorry, what was it?
Renault 1960.
Look at that. When was the last time you saw one of them?
Exactly. And then out there you've got a Goodwood.
Yeah.
Sadly, we can't use that one because it's not.
I would zoom, but I don't know how to do it.
Don't worry about it. But yeah, so he plays about with classics as his side hustle, and then obviously he's got his normal MOT service repair, whatever he needs to do. So do look him up. But I've got to thank him massively for the experience of being able to go out in a car that I once owned. And sharing memories with you.
It was ace, wasn't it?
It was like going back in time.
Yeah.
But, yes, massive thank you. If you do like that sort of stuff, or what we've done with this video, obviously it's not crazy bonkers fast stuff, but it is just remembering the memories that cars give you and everything else. So if you do like it, please make sure you comment below and tell us what else you would like us to go and see. Or if you've got a car yourself you want us to come and see, by all means do that. But other than that, Forrest, what is it like? Share, subscribe.
I'm not going to scream because it's someone else's garage. Yeah. Hit the bell.
So you get notified when the next video comes up. That's what it's all about. Do that. But main thing is subscribe. Really.
Yeah, do that. Let your friends know. Watch our stuff. Cool stuff like that. And you get to see his pretty face every week as well.
Not every week.
There we go.